Blog Talk Radio.
Every fucking day I can feel their pain, I can feel their hate, driving me crazy, taking me for a ride. Come right down inside of me and tell me what to do. We're silly in love. Reptilian love, reptilian love. Reptilian telling me what I should do every fucking day of my life, telling me how I should live, telling me how I should be. I feel the pain. I feel the pain, I feel the hate, I feel their pain, I feel their pain.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Universal Truth Evolution on blogtalkradio.com. And you know, that was not, in fact, the one and only Will Casey, as everyone knows as David Wilcock. We lovingly refer to David and his musicianship in ways we don't care to comment on there. But either way, that is a little pet nickname, if you will, for him. So, once again, thank you, everyone, for stopping by and hanging out with us, as you heard. That was actually our live in the studio band here, Apathy. And we have a lot of stuff to discuss here. Once again, because we have an issue with disinformation, and and this show, quite honestly, is personal for me, honestly, because we have a figure in the alternative news media, if you will, who called one of my friends something they aren't. And see, I don't take kindly to that, honestly. For those not in the know, there's been some ruckus between one Miss Collen Thomas and Aaron McCollum for good reasons, because, well, to be honest, everyone, Collen Thomas is straight up full of shit. So, and the bad thing is she doesn't even know she's full of shit sometimes, because she just runs with whatever shit she ends up in her lap. So this is very irresponsible, and I really take offense, honestly, to this woman calling my good friend Aaron McCollum something he isn't, which is a CIA disinformation agent. If Colleen ever actually took the time to get to know Aaron, which she wouldn't, she would find that he's a very genuine person. One thing that a lot of people don't know my story concerning Aaron McCollum is I was just a truth seeker like everyone else, and I knew that Aaron was in my area, and I wanted to meet him because I felt that I needed to talk to him about what he had shared. So I did, and I wanted to find out the truth, and that's what I aimed to do. And upon first meeting this guy, I knew he, in the very least, he believed what he was saying. You know what I mean? And that's obviously very important in this field of work, in the level of discernment. And subsequent meetings, it just became obvious that, yeah, this guy was real, and it just kept going and going and going. And over time, Aaron and I, we worked on a video project together. It's on YouTube, free to view, which is the essential story of Aaron McCollum. It's kind of a chapter-by-chapter video about that. And but yeah, so either way, that's kind of how Aaron and I really met and became familiar with one another. And we've consulted on stuff outside of the media world, shall we say. And so I've seen Aaron hard at work, literally at his desk. I've seen his tireless research. I've seen this man struggle with his own demons and his own issues and overcome them quite admirably, considering the traumatic past. If one doubts the whole MK program, they need only really to do, a quick fucking Google search. And so if someone's shutting that out, it's because of their programming. So this guy has went through some of the worst stuff you'd want to subject anyone to. And so now, he's here sharing truth, sharing things that all of us should know about, And it's not because anyone here is looking for anyone's head on a platter. That might be out there. I don't know. That's your own thing. But, there's a lot of knowledge out there that, can save a lot of lives, can produce a lot of cool shit, but it's not happening because of someone else's own fear. And, Aaron's here doing what he can to change that, from his first-hand experience. And then we have some, crazy fucking chick, because as far as I know, I don't know anything about this Colleen, and the more I hear about Colleen, the more it just sounds like bullshit. It's like she doesn't have even a story to tell that kind of leads anywhere stable. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck the dirt, right? You know what I mean? Who cares? It's like she wants to bounce around with her boobies fucking flapping around. Who gives a shit? I don't give a fuck, okay? It's like, tell me something that's true and don't run with bullshit. Like, Aaron McCollum is a CIA disinformation agent. Where the fuck are you getting that from, Colleen? I'm challenging you. You bring me that goddamn fucking evidence. I want to see it, goddammit. Because, yeah, you know what? This isn't a game to me. I'm not doing this for fucking fame or money or any of that bullshit. I want to know it's fucking real. And if you're calling my friend, a guy I'm sticking my neck out for right now, disinformation, fucking bring me that goddamn evidence. Okay? Or fuck you. Straight up. And your little friend. You know who we're talking about. Is that your source of disinformation? Is that the source that you're saying Aaron is a disinformation agent? Because of what? Because of a psychic reading? Is that what it is? That's what it is? Well, I challenge your psychic too. And I think we know who that is. Okay? Tell her to bring me the goddamn evidence. And if you say that evidence is a mutual acquaintance, guess what? You'll have to do fucking better than that. God damn it. Because fuck you. Okay? Aaron has stuck his neck out. Like you have no idea. You have no fucking idea. We can't, you tell a story, Colleen. I've heard this privately, and you know what I'm talking about too. Okay? That doesn't match any of your story that you tell in the media. So please reconcile that for me personally, because I've heard that personally. Okay? You probably don't even know me. I was probably just a nameless face that you gave another nameless bullshit reading to, because from what I understand, you gave someone else the same kind of bullshit reading you gave me after I hung up. So, instant psychics. We have to we have to watch out for those. Like Colleen, excuse me, I'm also a little parched here. But we have to watch out for those instant psychics. The ones who wake up and all of a sudden are physicists. Physicists all of a sudden, Colleen? Yeah, I kind of doubt that too. I like to see you do some physics. They're out there. I mean, I want to see you even just do an equation. What's velocity? What's energy? Just tell me those things. I'm not a physicist, but you know what? I know where to get those answers because, I've taken physics and I've paid attention and I can recall it. So if you've been having that hyperdimensionally, which I'm not doubting, hey, we all can have some downloads from some time, and all of a sudden we have this knowledge. We didn't know. But you know what? You're going on national TV saying you're a physicist, you're building up this kind of credit from nowhere, and then you're aiming it fucking all over the goddamn place, honestly. You're aiming at the fucking Palladians. Give me a break. I mean, even discount your own bullshit in your own bullshit fucking Russian TV thing. And then when Aaron gets on GoNob and confronts you, I don't know what the hell reality you're living in, Colleen, or any of these Colleen followers who think she owned Aaron. Give me a fucking break. Give me a break. Did we count the contradictions in Colleen Thomas's anything? Oh, the NSA, I didn't say the NSA tapped my laptop, or bitch, you fucking did. It's in the goddamn archives. You got to watch that shit, especially if you're going to be on the internet. You're going to be on film. You're going to have to watch it because it's going to come back. Because guess what? It's coming back now. Just like this whole phosgene thing. Okay, once again, we know, was it a psychic source that told you where to go to get the blog links that are written off the same goddamn fucking report that only accounts for 200 dead fucking birds? Okay, there were thousands of birds. Okay, thousands, not 200. Okay, I'm gonna post this link in the chat room, and it's gonna show. This is what she's talking about. She's talking about these 200 birds. Okay, this is as close to a fucking bone as this bitch is gonna get from me. Okay, both of them, including her psychic source. Okay, because yes, they were right, weren't they? Well, they were right a little bit that someone did accidentally spray some stuff on some birds. Good job. Let's fucking clap. Let's clap it up for them. They had one hit, and no. Okay. That doesn't account for the thousands of other birds that are dead, or other things that are dead. Okay? And, this is the thing. Okay, Colleen says, well, where's Aaron's evidence? Where is it? Well, see, Aaron has this nasty habit of providing documented empirical proof. See, that isn't good for someone like Colleen because she just runs with whatever bullshit she can to get attention. Because Aaron, for instance, will supply documents that come from wildlife services, And we're not talking about trust the government now. We're not saying, the government's going to tell us what's right and what's wrong. We fucking know that, right? That's why we're here. That's why we're listening. Okay? But at the same time, not everyone is keen to that fucking darkness that goes on, and they're just doing their job. They compile numbers. They spit numbers out. Some numbers get spit back out at us. Okay? And there's some stuff that they release, and honestly, people don't pay a fucking attention. Or else this whole Colleen thing wouldn't even be an issue. So, that being said, Okay, in one of these documents that Aaron puts out, okay, there's something like, okay, let's see, euthanized animals, 2009, 4,120,295. Okay, so this is what they're saying they've killed on purpose, and some of these birds are in thousands. I just passed one. There's pigeons, feral pigeons, almost 100,000. Almost 100,000 killed in 2009, which they're reporting. This is like, yes, we're doing this because these things are pests. And they do this. It's wild. It's reported. Okay. So, where's the proof, Collen? How about fucking that? God damn it! Or I'm sorry, do not understand the charts. Are they too complicated for you? I thought a physicist could fucking handle that. Guess not. Shit. Yeah, apparently so. Dude, all I know is if I was a physicist, I'd be pissed off at this bitch. I'm like, who the fuck's this chick? Yeah. They're like, oh, I'm a Palladian physicist who knows the secrets of the universe. It's like, and I'm a male. It's like, good. That's good. Too bad you can't bring in goddamn information fucking accurately. So, maybe you should stick to physics then. How about you demonstrate some of that? Because you aren't demonstrating reporting skills, I can tell you that. So, that's one instance of saying, like, okay, bitches, listen up here. Here's some actual proof for you. But see, they don't like that. They don't like that stuff. Okay, just like, there is a correlation, obviously, as most of us know, with the spraying that goes on over our heads. With things like barium, arsenic, cadmium, as well. Okay, and these findings are coming in slowly. That wow, wouldn't you know it, in some of these areas where fishes are killing off, wouldn't you know? Wow, there's a high concentration of that. Correlation? Maybe, possibly. So we file that in the possibly file. Notice how I didn't say, it must be chemtrails that's killing everything. Did you notice that didn't come out of my fucking mouth? Okay? See, that's the difference between someone like myself and Collen. Collen's just like, oh, let me sensationalize and play off of fear. So this is one thing that I find is funny about Collen, is that she talks about Aaron being in the darkness, but this bitch is the one that's coming from fear. And that's the other thing about it, is that you see that in her adherence to the dogma. Okay, the angel thing. Okay, check this out. There are things that we would call angels out there. Whether one believes it or not, don't really give a fuck. Because there are things out there, and if you do enough research, even into stuff like the remote viewing programs, you have remote viewers who didn't believe in it either. Atheists were like, I was going to see the target, but then a goddamn fucking angel blocked me. And they're like, an angel? Yes, I don't believe in them either, but an angel blocked me. See, these are in books like Joseph McMonagle's book. That's just one right there. If one wants to check on that, please check on that. 2, don't just assume I'm right. Read the book. It's fucking fantastic. It might be a little bit of disinfo, but you know what? There's good information in there within that. See, and that's the thing about disinfo. Part of it's right. That's why part of people listen to Collen, because
the opposite of what's right, disinformation.
Exactly, and so,
This is Sarah Palin, dude.
And that's the thing. It's part of the disinformation is correct, and it's just moved off of that, twisted off of that, just like Alex Jones. He'll have the twist of fear and all other stuff. So to me, her coming at things the way she is really is the same thing. Really the same fucking thing. You know? Especially using the archetypes of Michael and all this other stuff. This woman, she makes the craziest claims about, being this archangel who vanquishes fucking evil throughout the universe and blah, 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 blah. Well, you know what? I'm sorry to burst your bubble there, Collen, but anyone who's kind of really synced up with that kind of thought form will be doing the same fucking thing. And especially if you're linked into the thought form of dogmatic understanding, well, guess what? You're part of a big thought form that's dogmatic understanding, and it's that dogma in particular. And what's that dogma? What is that dogma? It's fucking Roman Catholicism. Once again, harking back to the last show. You can say Protestant versus Catholics. Okay, it's all the same fucking story. It's split off by a goddamn king. Okay? Same thing. And what is that? Mind control. It's just another mind control. They take it's disinformation. Once again, you can look at religion as being greatly disinformation. There's exceptions in each community depending on who's leading the congregation, but you have to take that one by one. Okay? On the whole, we're seeing the same thing. And see, this woman is caught up in that paradigm. See, she's so caught up in that paradigm, which is a fear paradigm. It's a paradigm of judgment and all this other stuff. So, and that's what she does. And she does not look at evidence. Like I said, this evidence is coming out that there is more to all of these animal deaths. Or one of my favorites is the missile situation. She still doesn't even acknowledge the fucking missile situation. And that's big. Okay? This is why I keep bringing it up. It's not that it's over and past. It has to do with Aaron and Collen or anything else. It's bigger than that. And that's what people don't understand. So I don't care if it's fine. Let's talk about this, because National Geospatial Agency puts out a report that says there's going to be missiles fired off the fucking coast right where this video is taken. Okay? And for those in the archives, everything else, it's there. I mean, it's there. You can see it's a Notice to Mariners, October, and it's 40-2010. It's on page 55, sections 434/1018, and you'll see it right there. And that's the first one in October. There's one in November. See, but yeah, I know there is charts. I know, Colleen, the charts, they're big and numerous. Then you have to figure out what the fuck Zulu time is. And you're like, God damn it, I have to do another Google search. Son of a bitch. Fuck, that's 10 whole seconds. Fuck me. Oh, God damn it. It's like, leave people. At least fucking Google it. God, I mean, fuck. Shit. So, oh, damn. So, I just love going off right now on this chick, because it just boggles my mind that people can follow her. It really does. It really does. And it has nothing to do with gaining followers, because we're all in this together. And that's the point, though. She looks for followers, And see, that's the big thing. There's that whole separation. Yeah, and see, this is the other thing about it. Like, Colleen, see, this is one thing that, she has a reputation of oh no, some might say being a whore of the alternative media. You hear that passed around different circles. Doesn't really matter who. But why, one asks? Why does he ask this? Well, is it because how someone say that she's selling her sexuality for, just selling her sexuality? And, I can't honestly say I really cared enough to really want to look into this one right away, because I just really didn't. But it's kind of funny because it keeps coming up. So I wanted to look into it, and it has to do with this, what I call Buy My Boobies video. And it's interesting because, as talked about before, Colleen says that it's about it's about a science experiment. She wants to see if she can get her chakras glowing. So, and that's fine and dandy. However, she seemed to want to draw attention to the skimpiness of her bikini. She wanted to give you a reason why, and then she proceeded to giggle at the end. And then it's like, oh, pay me $10. See, Colleen, this is where I have the fucking problem, okay? Whether you're hot or not, I don't give a good goddamn, okay? If we're talking research here, and you're like, I want to fund my research, $10? Fuck you! Okay, I would maybe even fork over $2 just to laugh and say, like, dude, that bikini isn't even that small, you're not that hot, get over yourself. If you really wanted to sell your body, try fucking pasties and just some paint, okay? And people might pay the $10 then. Especially if you got some friends to join you. So, yeah, I mean, if you're going to do it, don't deny it. Don't deny it, okay? You're trying to sell. They're like, oh, I'm a skinny girl in a bikini. Oh, my God, look at me. Just fucking say it. I'm putting my boobies up to buy. And if you'd like to buy the bouncy boobies, please supply $10. See, and I think people would respect you more. Okay? But I don't see that happening because, once again, Colleen kind of lives in a, imaginary fucking world where she's vanquished the devil from the solar system and all the solar systems to come, and that reptilians are running around and they're vanquished too because she is the Archangel of Death, and she's coming to smite me. Yeah, fuck you, Collen. God damn it. Oh, yeah, way too much MK. Thank you there. And please don't be shy to speak into the mic, because I don't think anyone can hear you guys. So, yeah, I do watch the chat room, by the way. And no, you can't borrow $10. I'm sorry, people. If you can donate it, and then maybe we can figure out some kind of free use act somewhere,
today's economy, 10 is a lot.
Yes, 10 reptilians, as we call them, because they are green and slithery. The American dollars is kind of a lot in this economy of ups and downs. So that's what I'm saying, Collen. It's not even good economics. You need to fire your promoter, you need to fire your agent, get a better one, because it fucking sucks. Because they would tell you, if you're going to sell your boobies, just say, hey, I'm selling my boobies. And there was a comment of too much MKing for this woman. And I wouldn't doubt that at all, because you see those constructs. And the funny thing is, she's like, I'm not mind controlled. Oh, my God. Yeah, see, they do. They freak out because, I think people don't realize, you don't necessarily have to have a handler to be mind controlled, okay? It all goes into the social programming that is literally just pumped out into the media. I mean, once again, I keep pointing back to Stuart Swerdlow's interview we did here on Universal Truth Evolution, where he talked about the mind control, just frequencies, literal frequencies that were assimilated into this stuff. So it's just pumped out, and then, Aaron did bring up an interesting point about some associations. Now, this one of the man who's associated with mind control concerning lasers, and other kind of little wacky nanotech, has to do with controlling organisms. It does. That's what it does. They control little worms or some shit like that. And so the thing about it is, a technology like that, associations like that, whether one wants to kid themselves or not, you have to be very cautious energetically. And so I know Collen fancies herself a psychic. And so sometimes that's how I know she's just not quite as psychic as she says, because it's like she would know better than to just discount certain associations, especially in these realms, and especially not, the way she did, or as she does. It's just very nonchalant. And once again, it's kind of funny because it plays to all this narcissism, this apparent narcissism that's just there. And there's a difference between being confident in one's image and just being narcissistic. And there's some sincere narcissism there. So there's a so yeah, and that really is the point, though. It's the narcissism, because if you think about what's her motivations then? Why does someone even sensationalize or do these things without even knowing? Because it's playing on some of their vices. It's playing on some of their
insecurities.
Insecurities. Thank you very much.
Searching for attention.
Yes. And if anyone in the chat room can help out there, let us know that if you're hearing my cohorts here, Eddie and Alex, chime into the mic. Just let me know if they need to be louder or not, because we're actually doing a test run here technologically. So, but anyways, yeah, it's the narcissism, and so because that's what makes someone say, oh, let me go run with this shit that I don't know is true or not, because they're thinking, oh, my crowd is going to love this. You know what I mean? It's not about the information. Hell, she even said on Russian TV concerning the Pleiadian thing, she's like, well, I got this information from an unconventional source. It just kind of came to me as I woke up, and that the Pleiadians were saying that Obama was shooting the missiles at the Iranians to start a war. And they shot him down, they vaporized him, and then they tried shooting at them. Is that what she's going to say, October, November? Dude, and why is Russian TV publishing this shit? I mean, what the fuck? Why did they even bother? Why do they even fucking bother? And, you know, I'm wondering why they bother. And I know someone else I know wonders why they bother, and that person is Aaron McCollum, who has now joined us on the show. And, Aaron, why do they bother? Why does Russia TV bother with this woman?
Oh, Jesus. I wish I knew. I really wish I knew. I had sent a follow-up email with Russia Today expressing my concerns and a bit of aggravation with the fact that I received no reply from them. I was fair. I gave them a week. Maybe a week wasn't long enough, but it hasn't completely ruined ruined me with as far as watching Russia Today, because I specifically targeted the email to Russia Today America, their American branch.
Mm-hmm.
How funny that it was the American branch that aired this, the country that's got the most dribbling pile of festering shit on that electric box they call a TV. So
pretty violent.
they didn't respond. They nothing. And you know what? I'm not putting any more energy into Russia Today, because I expressed my aggravation with them, and that was as far as that needed to go, in my opinion. And you know, that they want to allow her to just let the stupid fall out of her mouth, and that's fine.
Yeah, you know, I think that, you know, obviously, Aaron, how you know that in the news, it's not really so much about the news as it is like just ratings and people watching. So it's really like more of a sideshow. So I think to me it just sounds like they found a good circus freak in Colleen. They just want to laugh at her. They think they're respecting her, but they're really laughing at her.
Well, that may be, but either way, it's completely irresponsible journalism. If they want to call themselves a real news network that does real journalism, and not to say Russia Today as a whole. I do watch their YouTube videos. I keep track of a lot of their stuff, and they do show a lot of things that mainstream media won't show here. Mm-hmm. However, it appears that they've allowed Russia Today America to be no better than Fox or MSNBC or any of these other complete joke of news networks that we have here in the States.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. There is a definite discrepancy in what is allowed on not only just Russia Today, but like Russian Russia Today. In terms of the stuff.
I'm actually quite surprised that we're talking today, because I was pretty sure that I was going to get struck by lightning, or locusts were going to invade my house, or blood was going to come out of the sink because of I didn't realize the magnitude of whom I was confronting. I had no idea up until I was told who exactly I was dealing with, and
who's that?
It was quite perplexing. You know, I guess it should be an honor to be graced with such a privilege to talk with not just the Archangel of Death,
yes, but
the matron side of destiny.
Of course,
the Metatron and the Sanada.
The Jeebus himself.
And Legion. Let me break down before I continue. Let me just break down these things for everyone. And I really don't want to get too much into this, but
we're here. We might as well swim around for a little bit.
So I was told that I was talking to the Archangel of Death. And for those of you who may not be familiar with the Archangel of Death it's basically it's the angel of death. It's it's in religion and other spiritualities around the world where you die and this spirit or whatever, the gatekeeper, comes to you and takes you to the afterlife or the underworld or whatever. Just like with the riverboat man with the river Styx in Greek mythology and elsewhere. So
that's that dual outboard baby.
Then I am told in the same sentence that I am talking to Legion, and I actually say I am Legion. Well, for any of you who are familiar with biblical references, Legion, which is referenced in the Bible in the Gospel of Mark, the Gospel of Luke, and the Gospel of Matthew. And all of them say the same thing, that basically it's a long story, but there was persons that were possessed. And when Jesus said, "What is thy name?" the answer was, "My name is Legion, for we are many." And Legion is in reference to being possessed by not just, it doesn't say devil, it says devils. It's plural. So there's that. But then it gets even more interesting when I find out that I'm also talking to the matron of destiny. There's 4 definitions to matron. The first definition is a married woman usually marked by dignified maturity or social distinction. Okay, we can rule that one out. Second definition, a woman who supervises women or children. Well, fuck, I hope not. That one out. Third one, the chief officer in a women's organization. Well, I guess maybe the National Organization of Women is looking for some chair people, so this person can consider that. But the last one, and this is no offense to any other women that are listening to this, because I very much respect women and I'm happily married to one, but this is just a definition I got directly. A female animal kept for breeding. No comment. The next thing that I was told whom I was speaking with. First of all, the person said Metatron. Of course, obviously they meant Metatron, which is derived from Greek, meta and tron, meaning beyond matrix. So I guess I was really talking to Neo. Someone better call Neo was let out of his cage. And then finally, this person identified speaking to me as Sananda, which means when Jesus ascended from the earth plane, he was given the new spiritual title of Sananda. This means he who has ascended. I'm a little confused, Jerry. I don't know who the hell I was talking to.
I don't think she does either.
But I haven't smite, so don't worry, folks. Aaron McCollum's going to be around for a long, longer. I haven't been smited yet. I'm not planning on getting smited or smitted or a good smitting.
Everyone needs a good smitting once in a while.
But I'm still here and I'm still kicking. And I don't really want to say names because I really don't want to give this person that energy from me. But let me just say this in general. I have a severe problem, as Jerry so colorfully expressed in the first half hour of the show, with disinformation on so many levels. I wrote a very colorful email, a response to what was shared with me, and I'm going to leave that email. It's an email that I did share with others. Jerry was one of them in my response to this person, but the only reason I did that was so that this person couldn't turn around and say that I wrote or made any threats to this person that Jerry has been discussing in the first part of the show. However, Jerry, you remember those big hair bands, or as my wife calls it, what is it, butt rock band?
Yeah.
That they refer to, like all these big hair 80s bands. They came out of nowhere. A lot of them out of Los Angeles. They exploded with gold and platinum records. Everyone was like, yeah, and they loved them.
Yeah,
and
hair
then the
metal.
next day, they're gone, and now they're just sitting on a couch somewhere eating tuna noodle casserole out of a can, and they're running out of whiskey and cocaine, and no one has remembered them. I know that may be a harsh thing to say, but
dude.
When someone makes their own guillotine and then puts their head into it, they should expect that things aren't going to last for very long. And as I expressed with this person, and like you said, I am not out for fame. I am not out for fortune. I do not charge for any of the stuff that I do. I just do what I do because it's right. And it's things like the article that I posted today on Truth Survival is the reason, one of the sole reasons that keeps me driven. And, Jerry, I didn't ask you this beforehand, but do you mind if I read this article to everybody? Because there's people in the chat room that may not have heard it or may not subscribe to the free newsletter. So would that be all right if I read that?
Dude, everyone loves the smooth, tasty sound of Chocolate Crunch's voice, dude. I mean, come on. By all means, please.
Well, if that's what you know,
it is.
grabs
It is.
attention, that's fine. I hope that the information grabs her attention. Of course, I'm just kind of trying to just do what I can, buddy, as you know. But I wrote an article today, and I'll just give you a quick background. I've been following the civil unrest, protesting, and rioting that's been happening around the world, and the mainstream media here has not covered things that are going on nearly as much as they should. There's actually a lot more countries that are having civil unrest than what the fucking mainstream media here in the United States has been sharing with all this, because of course they're focusing on the primarily Muslim countries, because America, I should say the elite government of this country has been targeting the Middle East for well over 30 years now. So let me just read this real quick. The article is titled, "People of Tunisia, Egypt, Jordan, and all other countries revolting against tyranny. We stand with you." And let me just read this real quick, because I think this ties into really what you were talking about in the first part of the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Bill
please.
Cooper. Okay, here we go.
Sorry.
And just to give you background, this relates to when I woke up this morning, the first things I was seeing online with the real news websites I look at. Bill Cooper called it the hour of time, and Art Bell refers to it as quickening. But whatever name you put on what is happening, it is here. Economic collapse globally, food shortages, police state, corruption within governments worldwide are rampant now. The people of these great nations have been suppressed, ignored, and beaten down long enough. They are tired. They are tired of struggling every day to survive. They are struggling to feed their families. They are struggling to try and live as true sovereign citizens of the world. They have had enough. Have you? The chips are falling, and falling fast across the globe. And if you do not pay attention to it, then you are blind. Blind to all the people in countries who have joined together to say, we have had enough. Are you paying attention? I do hope so, because the time is coming before you will have to make a choice. A choice that, in my opinion, is very easy to make. Stand strong and become a voice of true patriotism, or stand aside and allow yourself to be swallowed into the jaws of the elite. This morning I watched many videos of civil unrest, protests, and rioting happening in so many countries. I read articles, looked at pictures, and sat back to reflect on what I had just done. My heart began to pound. It is still pounding as I write this to you all. For so long, I was that anonymous one, dressed all in black, holding my weapon and looking at people as if they were cattle, ready to kill any one of them at the first sign of disobedience. I was wrong. These past years for me has been the most difficult journey of my life, and I do not regret it one bit. I am here now to let the people of these nations know that I, Aaron McCollum, stand beside you. This is not a race, religious, or gender issue, as some of the mainstream media want to label it, those bastards. This is not about terrorism, as the TSA is stating to take advantage of. As reported, I put a link to it, but let me just say, TSA has anybody that goes to any of these countries that are having civil unrest right now, you go on an even further domestic watch list. Okay, let me continue. This is an issue of basic human rights that we all are entitled to, not as citizens of your home country, but as citizens of Earth. No matter what race, religion, or political view you have, that is all a moot point. We must stand together and hold strong, or we will fail. Failing for me is not an option, nor should it be for you. I want you to look at each of these pictures and reflect on them. What does your gut feeling tell you when you see them? Ask yourself that question. What will you do when the breaking point has been reached in your country? Will you stand against the hateful leaders, or will you run away? And then let me skip down beyond the pictures that I put. These are only a few of the countries where the people have had enough. I have never encouraged violence, but I do encourage standing up for your rights. If you think the people of these nations have not tried everything to stop madness that infests their governments, you better think again. Now is the time to make your voice heard. The people of the United States and other countries around the world need to stop hating each other for ethnic, religious, and political views. The elite want you to hate each other. Don't you get it? Until we take all of our differences and wash them away so that we can unite, we will not have true freedom. I stand by and support my brothers and sisters around the world who have taken to the streets and say enough is enough. If you think the actions of these people are not justified, then you are blind, deaf, and dumb. How long do you think it will be before the tipping point happens where you live? What choice will you make? The quickening is here, and it is the hour of time. Stand now or be lost forever. I, for one, would rather die on my feet fighting for universal freedom than live the rest of my life never knowing what if. I will end this report and freedom-fighting rant for now, but before I do, I ask you to watch the following video I'm including. And I included a video in there that I encourage everyone to watch. Very powerful video. Go and watch it.
Yeah, and that's on truthsurvival.com.
So, that's kind of the mindset I've been in lately. No shit, no holds barred. If you don't like what I have to say, well, then I'm sorry. Then, as I told Jerry on the phone, the website Truth Survival is not exact. I try to put things in it so that anybody who is just beginning their awakening can look at it. But honestly, and people may not agree with this, but I would consider Truth Survival as more of a intermediate to advanced type of website. It's not necessarily for people who are just getting their feet wet. This is for the people who are more into it, because I bring up issues that some people may not understand unless they have taken the corrective, you could say, baby steps to getting to that point.
Mm-hmm.
And if I go on shows and people ask me to tell my background, my story of who I am, and I'll do that, but I try to really do that in a quick way because I don't feel there's time right now for me to go on every single show and spend the first hour talking about how Aaron McCollum came to be and my family history and everything comes to. There's just not enough time. I'm beyond that. There's much more important things that need to be discussed than the time that I went through the evaluation with the rattlesnakes and the boards on the ground in the field and all that stuff. And this the problem is excuse me, let me take a last drink of water here.
Yeah, no problem.
The problem is, and why I read that article relates to what you were saying now. These fucking people that want to turn themselves into some kind of goddamn messiah or prophet, whether they say they're Metatron, the Angel of Death, Jesus, Al Pacino, Joe Pesci, Ron McDonald, I don't give a fuck. It's all bullshit, okay?
Yep.
Look, I don't even think that, and I'm gonna go on a limb here. I don't believe that Jesus Christ ever said that he was some messiah or some prophet. I do believe the guy had some very advanced ideas on the whole construct of how human society should be, but other people labeled him as that in order to put him on a pedestal so that the Romans could really initiate religion. Christianity, the Roman Catholic Church. It's just like what I said on the last show. I don't think that Bill Cooper would have ever considered himself a messiah or a prophet or anything. I've had people come to me. I've actually had people, Jerry, I don't remember if I told you this. I've had people contact me and ask me when I was going to build a compound so they could follow me. What the fuck? Really? No. If you want to stand with me, fine. If you want to follow me, you better fucking follow someone else. Because the reason I say I want people to stand beside me is because they are at the pace that I and many others are at. And right now, we can't have any ass draggers.
Nope. Hey, Aaron. See, this is good. I'm glad that you're in this mode here because I actually did want to get into the upheavals and the insurgent, just all the stuff that's going on right now in terms of people standing up for themselves in the second half here. But we want to go ahead and take another break real fast. And so if you want to hang out with us, it'd be awesome. We can get into what that means to actually kind of stand up for those of us who aren't in the middle of Egypt right now, dodging bullets and shit.
I can get into that. Yeah, definitely. I'll wait.
Awesome. All right, everyone. We are going to have another little musical interlude here. And just like how I brought up there in Egypt, there is a major revolution going on, really, hopefully. And you see these people pitted against their own cops and their own military, exposing really the fallacy, which is the rules that are governing us. And that's really what this song we're going to play is about. And it's actually called Fallacy. It's the fact that whether you're on the side of the law, you're on the side of the government, someone's set up for us to be at each other. No matter which side you look at it, you're wrong, because that's what's set up. It's set up to make this polarity. So we're going to play this song called Fallacy. So we're going to get a little Will Casey on everyone again, since we have a captive audience here. And please give us a moment here, because this, after all, is a live show, and we have to make some adjustments on the fly, including stuff with the audio. So give me 1 second, please. So go grab yourself a drink or go to the restroom or something. We'll be rocking.
And make sure you mention that that the military and the Egyptian people are actually standing together.
I will.
Proclamations about what's wrong, what's right, ideals, selfish ideals. They don't know what's wrong, but they know they're right. And it all comes down in the end. You say this, they'll say that. We'll fall. We'll all be found guilty the day our last right died. Die.
anybody else that can't reply to following YouTube, that's them too. Also.
Thank you, everyone. We are back, and pardon night boys, and pardon me while I take a quick little drink of water here. So, hey, Aaron, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh yeah. So,
I just want to say real quick. Excuse me. Two things. Two things that Meredith reminded me of during the break. One, she wanted to thank everybody, whether you're in the chat room or listening. She wanted to send you all a thank you. Whether the comments were posted on the video or not, she wants to thank you all for leaving comments on that video with the vicious false statement about my wife. So she says thank you very much for that. The other thing she wanted me to remind everyone, and excuse me, again, this is not in the mainstream media, but there has been verification that not just the police, but a great deal of the military has joined sides with the citizens of Egypt in the civil unrest. So just consider that one.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Because, yeah, I mean, if you look at that situation, it's really cowardly of the leader there. It's like, oh, I'm going to fire all the government, but I'll still be in charge. It's like, fuck you, dude. Come on now. You know, that just has coup written all over it.
Well, he didn't really he didn't fire the entire cabinet. He did a bait and switch. Some of the person that he just inaugurated as the vice president was in charge of the intelligence agency, and I don't remember the person who he made prime minister. It's interesting to have a president and prime minister. Some countries do that, but the person he made prime minister also was part of the cabinet as well. So, and there's a lot of the people of Egypt are angry because the person he chose as vice president would only carry on what that evil bastard has been doing for 30 years.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the reason why I think obviously that it's just whatever concessions they're trying to do just aren't working. That's why everyone's still really pissed off, and that's why they're really not going for right now in the streets. I mean, it's amazing. You see those videos, and there's one thing that people have to realize, that there's thousands of people out there, and they could literally just tear these cops apart or some of these military apart. They're just swarmed. They're literally swarmed.
Well, Jerry, they have. The people of Tunisia overran the police. The people of Egypt did the same. And not just there. It happened in Italy. It happened in Kyrgyzstan. To an extent, it happened in France, England. It's happening all over. And if people go to the article I wrote today on Truth Survival, they'll see just some pictures from just some of the countries. The mainstream media is completely ignoring the massive civil unrest and rioting that is happening in Western countries, not just in Western Europe, Eastern Europe, and even places in South America, Southeast Asia, and elsewhere. And this is something that it can be contagious in the right way, hopefully. I have so much respect for the people of Tunisia. Do you know what they did, Jerry? Did you hear about
What's
the flyer that they made?
No, I didn't.
I don't know what group did, but some people in Tunisia made a flyer. It's about a 13 or 14-page flyer. I found it. And they, before internet and cell phones, everything went down, I do believe that they're actually mailing boxes of them over there. They sent these flyers to Egypt, and it's titled How to Protest Intelligently, where they have diagrams, checkoff lists, operating procedures on how to do it the right way so that the least amount of collateral damage occurs. That is talking about some serious fucking global teamwork. I have such respect for the people in these countries, whether it's on a large scale like Egypt or Tunisia, or if it's a smaller scale like what is brewing in Jordan right now. I absolutely have nothing but adoration for these people. And even Meredith and I were talking today. If we could, we wouldn't, because we don't want to leave Big Red that long. But we said this today. If we could, we would get our asses over there to Egypt, Tunisia, whatever country needed our help, and we would assist.
Yeah, I wonder if you'd be put on the no-fly list for that, Aaron.
Who says I was going to fly?
Touche. Good.
I never said I was going to fly.
Yeah, that's sweet, dude. That's sweet. Yeah.
But the thing that really aggravates me is with this country right now. Yeah. Did you know? Meredith and I just found out this statistic. Get this, Jerry. The average American eats fast food 24 times a month. 24 times a month, almost once a day, they're putting horrible, toxic, GMO, Monsanto-infested fructose corn syrup, aspartame, melamine shit within their system. And this is why the general public, again, I'm going to say this, I don't care who likes or doesn't like it, the majority of the people in this country are fat, they're dumbed down, they're lethargic, they're mind-controlled, and it's in my opinion that if this chain reaction continues with the civil unrest and throwing down their tyrannical governments, the United States would probably be the last one for it to spill over. I hope it's not. I'm not telling people to go on the streets and start kicking over garbage cans and lighting cars on fire. I'm not saying that. There are correct ways you can do this. And I think you wanted to talk about the correct ways of doing this. So I'll shut up for a second.
No, it's all good, dude. Obviously you have a lot of first-hand knowledge on the inside, which gives a lot of perspective, and then practical situations. I mean, obviously these protests aren't necessarily combat situations, but they're pretty damn close in some instances. So understanding how to effectively stay within the law to where it's like the wrongdoing is apparent on the side of justice, shall we say. That's very important. It's how we'll be effective, especially in this day and age with all the cameras around. Obviously, they didn't want the internet going, but you know what? As we're seeing, it got back up one way or another. And so this is one thing that I know we're paying really close attention to of how that's actually being achieved, and it's really intriguing on its own.
Yeah, it's really disgusting. And I don't know, Jerry, did you read my it was one of the reports I did yesterday on Homeland Security, and that debacle, that sham of the first annual State of Homeland Security address by, as I like to refer, Darth Napolitano.
I was aware of this, but I didn't see your take on it yet. So by all means, share.
Well, I'm not going to get into it because it's something that I encourage people to read, and it's not that I'm promoting my site. It's just that when I get into a mode of writing something, it just seems to stick, and that's what it is. So it's best for people to read it because I may not be able to explain as well as I wrote it. But basically, there was a whole lot of blah, 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 blah for almost an hour by that freaking draconian silverback that is in charge of, big eye in the sky, Department of Homeland freaking fascism. And, of course, the people that asked questions afterward did everything but bend down and kiss her rosy red cheeks or blue cheeks. I don't know.
Or
I
scaly.
Full blood. But either way, she mentioned a lot of things. She mentioned that the southwestern border of the United States is the most secure and safest it has ever been in the history of the United States. What? Drug trafficking has doubled in the past 2 years. Illegal immigration has tripled. So, what the hell is she saying?
Well, just selling the lie. You know how it goes.
I mean, would someone please explain to me where she gets her statistics? Because I'm pretty sure she's just got a bunch of, like, I don't know, copper pots out in her backyard with little, like, fortune cookies, and she just goes out there and they blindfold her and they play a little spin the donkey, and she picks one up and pulls it out and goes, okay, there's statistic of the day.
Well, you know, with careful mathematics, you can pretty much just do that effectively. So. Well,
then again, maybe Jan Napolitano got a download, and she has got the census of statistics from the entire universe.
Oh no!
These universal downloads seem to be happening a lot lately.
Yeah. Oh no! Not another Angel of Death. Fuck. That's two of them, Aaron. We're gonna. Oh, God damn it! There's a lot of smiting going on.
Yeah, well, if they smite thee, they better be getting ready, because I'll smite them back tenfold.
That's right. Get all hyperdimensional on their ass. But yeah, man, it's amazing because, like I was saying, you see these statistics being reported, and then you see the masses going yeah, and it's like, and you see demonstrated in the media, not necessarily the mainstream media, but how they'll focus on, you know, a 1 mile stretch of border along, you know, anywhere from California to Arizona, New Mexico, and they'll say, we're demonstrating that they're not coming through this 1 mile, but meanwhile, it's because everyone's going down another fucking mile and just walking around.
Yeah.
You know, and then I think there was even that video that was posted, I think it was on, like, Huffington Post or something like that. They're showing these two teenage Mexican girls who just hopped their fence in 20 seconds. So.
Oh, yeah, the two, it was actually two Caucasian women, young women that scaled up the fence, the gates, and then crawled back down on the same side. They went up and down on the same side. Yes, I believe the longest time was 17 seconds. Yeah.
So
I mean, if anybody thinks that the unmanned aerial vehicles, that the Predator drones that are currently not just patrolling in the airspace over the entire southern border of the United States, they actually are all over the country. If they think that is for illegal immigration, sorry, no. Let's talk about the Trusted Traveler Pass that we're on the cusp of having implemented, where Mexican truck drivers will be able to freely go across the border, in and out, and not necessarily have to abide by the regulations that the Department of Transportation have implemented for U.S. citizens. It could be so detrimental to the U.S. economy. The truck driving industry still is the bloodline of delivering goods in this country. And I've heard many people say, George Norrie on Coast to Coast covered this, and he has, I would say, over 50% of his viewers are truck drivers. And all of them that called in said that if that happens, they will do everything they can to have all their labor unions strike. And I hope they do. I've said this before. I'll say it again. An economic collapse in this country would be the best thing for it. It would be very difficult for all of us. We would have to completely reconstruct the way we do things in everyday life, but it needs to be. This country needs a colon cleansing, okay? There's way too much backed up shit way up the keister of Washington, D.C., and we need to cleanse it seriously. And as someone said in the chat room, I think it was a lad, said that a revolution goes 360 and we need a 180. Well, a revolution only goes 360 if it is infiltrated by provocateurs of the people who don't want the revolution. A true revolution can take a 180 turn to where you move forward in a direction that you want it to go forward, and that's what we need to do. And a revolution can be done by many means. Civil disobedience, there's nothing wrong with it. It's nothing more than expressing your First Amendment right.
Mm-hmm.
There is also, as I have referred to many times, a passive resistant revolution, which basically means, and it would have to be done on a scale of not the tens of thousands, but the hundreds of thousands that's happening in these other countries, where you would basically have to say, we're not paying your taxes. We're not going to go shop at the big box stores. We're not going to go eat at these food chains. We are going to shop locally. We're not going to buy anything out of the country. We are going to barter. We are not going to do anything. Basically, a full strike, a complete sit-out. You know, like it was so trendy where the kids in the high schools that were really just following blindly because it was trendy. But anyways, they would do what they call them, sit-outs, where they were protesting against the war.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
I think every person that has the will and that's willing to do it, and of course, most of them, again, we've got so many, I'm sorry, GMO poisoned retards in this country. And I'm not saying retards as a derogatory term towards people that have, unfortunately, some mental disabilities. I feel bad for those people because they could be cured or prevented through good eating and other things. But these idiots, these complete mind-controlled idiots, and we have too many in this country. We have too many. Now, I'm not saying that they need to die because they are not unfixable. No one in this country, none of the, and you know what? The thing is that, as I've said before, mind control is genetic. People may say that's not true, but yes, it is. If you have two parents, if you have two parents that do nothing but eat TV dinners, go to McDonald's, remember what I said, 24 times a month, the average American eats out fast food. If you have two parents that do nothing but watch Fox News, they played these horrible video games, they do all this stuff, those habits carry forth to their child, and their child is born much more susceptible to the mind control. But if you have two parents that use homeopathic medicine, that watch real educational videos, that actually go out together as a family and go enjoy nature, that eat organic, that do really productive things, their children are far more at an advantage of being the same way. So mind control is absolutely genetic. It absolutely is. What you put in your body, what you put in your mind, is going to go into the baby that is in your stomach, ladies. Now, this doesn't mean that these children can't be fixed. Of course they can. And there are parents out there who have done it, and I commend each and every one of them. But for the parents who are still lethargically sitting around in your own gelatinous fat, continue to get dumber, shame on you. You shouldn't have had kids. I'm being really brash here, but I don't care.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I understand that. And, I think that's the thing, like, there's obvious, dumbing down programs of all kinds. I mean, you see now that even in the major media, they're being forced to admit the fluoridation isn't a good thing. And because all this has been blatant. I mean, you look at the cuts in the public school systems, and that's one thing, like, seriously, all of the libertarians and right-wingers out there who think, oh, yeah, let's privatize the school system. Yeah, it's pretty much what's been going on, and it's not working. It's fucking everything up. Haven't you noticed?
The school system has been privatized for a lot longer than what most people may think.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The psychologists, I don't remember what the name of their national association is, but they are in bed, most of them are in bed with Big Pharma, and of course, Big Pharma, the national public school system, and the United States federal government are all slapping each other on the ass during a little Bohemian Grove hootenannies, and it has been the school system has been privatized more so under the radar. It's been private, and yes, Thomas Don said it right, since 1914. He's correct on that date. Since 1914, really. It's been a very long time. And this is a serious, serious problem. I mean, when are people going to get it? When are people going to say they've had enough in this country? But unfortunately, I don't consider myself a pessimist. I consider myself a realist. I plan for the worst and I hope for the best. And right now, my current best assessment is that the United States, unfortunately, will be in the worst case scenario, the last country to actually have a massive civil unrest. And that is sad. It's pathetic.
I think all the world leaders right now are watching and they're fucking shitting themselves because they're seeing this grow. And you look at China, they're censoring Egypt in any blogs and stuff like that because they know that it's like everyone's tired of these people. And something tells me there's probably going to be another banker set to fry soon in the major media because they're not going to have the pitchforks and torches in all these countries. They're like, fuck that, we're going to get rid of the suit.
There's been so many options for the tipping point to finally spill over in this country. It's pathetic. It just came out in mainstream media that the $30 billion that are part of the several $trillion that Goldman Sachs got as a quote-unquote bailout, $30 billion of that went to bonuses to their executives. Yep. Do you know where that money came from?
Wonder where.
Tax dollars.
Yep.
That figure comes out to every man, woman, and child in the United States. In the United States, each shelled out $10 so that these fat, genocidal maniac bankers could go to the stripper joints and throw another, grand out for Cristal and, delve into their evil pleasures.
And then we'll go one further and say that was only loaned out to them so they can ergo turn back and give that money to the Fed or the IMF, which all feeds back into these fucks. So it's like they really just kind of handed it over to each other. Well, you borrow the numbers on the computer screen now. Okay, well, now you borrow the numbers on the computer screen now, and we'll tell everyone that it's good for the economy. And dipshits will go, yes, it's great for the economy. And that's kind of what we're seeing.
Yeah, and in fact, let's keep going with this. The state of California. Jerry, you live in the state of California. I'm sure you've been following with the financial situation in California. What's it up to now? $16 billion?
Yeah.
And if they do not fix the deficit by the end of the year, the state of California will have to go bankrupt across the board.
Yep. And it's interesting.
And that's not the only state. It's actually about, I think, the last statistics I heard, it was actually from Dr. John Waterman, I believe. Now it's up to about 26 states. 26 states, and there's also 100 other separate cities that are all on the verge of having to file bankruptcy.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is, like, in terms of California, because I know one of the reasons it holds up the budget is the voting law, that they have to have 2/3 of the vote to pass something. So what that really means is that there's a third that's sitting there not passing it on fucking purpose, or just over a third doing it on purpose. And I wonder who those are. Oh yeah, it's the same people stalling in the Senate and the Congress. It's mainly Republicans, and you and I were not Democrat Republican guys, but it's like because they're tied in mostly to those big corporations, and that's kind of a common knowledge thing, honestly. So it's like you're seeing like really who are the culprits in trying to fuck up America by who is voting which way too, because you follow that money even there, and then you start making those connections.
Well,
and you're seeing
it's people like that Medusa Nancy Pelosi.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it's people like Darth Napolitano. Janet Napolitano. It's all these people. It's Newt Gingrich. It's God, I'm so flustered right now. There's a lot of people. That one of the guys that's definitely at that's in the capstone of the pyramid, Bernanke. That guy needs to be dealt with. He should have been dealt with a long time ago. He blatantly lies, misdirects. They've got this shill of their inspector general who couldn't answer one single question during an inquiry on the audit going on of the Federal Reserve bailout. 9 months after the audit was implemented, 9 months, this inspector general with her little goon squad of Ivy League retards couldn't come up with one answer. You know why they couldn't? Because they wouldn't.
Yep.
That's why.
They're not going to. They're not going to. And because there's just too much there, and it's funny because I'm obviously I don't have to tell you, but how, that it's once again, it's, even on the inside, they're using that fear, and that leverage on the inside, because it's like, and it just comes down to, are you going to release this? Well, why should we? And then it's like, you get into all the crap that comes along with that. Or, because,
there's a term that I use a lot, and it's genuine, and Meredith and I laugh about it a lot because we use it all the time, and it's a quote by the late great, one of my heroes in a sense, because he spoke the words true, but that is George Carlin, and he talked about dick fear, and that's really what this is. He goes into explaining about, isn't it interesting how missiles are shaped in a phallic way? And then he goes on to saying, the first Gulf War was all started because Saddam Hussein made a little crack at George Bush's, the size of his dick, and George Bush said, "What? They got bigger dicks than us? Bomb them!" It is this over-masculinated bullshit machismo crap, better known as dick fear. This is why you see these jacked up trucks with the little metal testicles in the back. They call them truck balls. You see these roided out retards with their affliction and no fear shirts on. I'd like to get a group of these guys out with me in the woods for a week and deal with my old mean ass, because I'm pretty sure I'd have them crying home in the fetal position with one thumb in the mouth and the other thumb back in the wazoo.
Yeah, I think they'd have to sign up for a different workshop for that, I think.
And then, let me just say this too. There's one other thing that George Carlin says, and guys, I'm not bagging on you because the men that are listening to this or in the chat room, you're not part of this, because if you're listening to this show, you're definitely not part of that dick fear equation. But he also says, he talks about how in the Bible they always refer to God as He, and he goes, there's no way in hell. I mean, let me correct. He goes, he absolutely is sure that God is a man, because there's no way in hell any woman would fuck up the civilization on the planet so badly for so long. So he said, God's got to be a man, because no woman would let this shit go on for so long. So maybe the church is right. Maybe when they say he, it is a he.
Well, as we know, peaks and troughs, peaks and troughs. So we're part of that movement, moving it a different way. And that's why we're talking about what's going on, obviously, in these other countries, which I think is speaking of these other countries, for instance, I find it interesting that you have Egypt and Yemen going off, you know what I mean, right on the other side of that body of water of each other.
I'm really worried about Yemen. I'm really concerned for the people there, because
oh yeah, absolutely.
The United States have been, I've got documents from back in the 60s. That one famous, I don't want to say famous, infamous document I have, where I actually label where Yemen's mentioned 69 times in the document. The United States has had their eye on Yemen for much longer than people think. And then, of course, with this ink cartridge bomb bullshit that happened, I'm really, really concerned about the people of Yemen, because the bloodthirsty, fang-toothed, misguided, agenda-eating retards that run this country are just waiting for more reasons to sprout their paws to just pounce on Yemen. And I'm so worried about the people of Yemen right now, because the United States is just on the cusp of going in there and completely throwing out the cluster bombs, the daisy cutters, and God knows what else. And it's a really concern. So I just want to, if anybody in Yemen happens to come across this radio show, hold tight. Please, please hold tight, because we do support you.
Absolutely, and we're trying to bring awareness to all these different countries, and that's why we talk about this. I mean, that's one thing I don't think people realize. It's important that there's something like this. It's not old news if it's still happening, and I think people even look at it like that with what's going on in Afghanistan or even Iraq. It's not old news. It's fucking going on right now. I mean, so we need to kind of keep aware of all these things, and like Yemen, as you're saying, because that was the next thing that was linking Afghanistan, Iraq, and all this other bullshit to the Al-Qaeda thing, because they have been pumping that up, and it's fucking ridiculous. I don't know how much AM radio you get a chance to catch, but that's the thing that you're hearing, the rhetoric you're hearing that they're getting about Yemen. It's, the Al-Qaeda's in fucking Yemen,
I don't want any U.S. soldier or sailor, I don't want any man or woman in the U.S. military to get hurt as a result of being stationed in any of these countries, because they're just following orders. They're doing what we are all doing. They're earning a paycheck. Whether they're saying that they're doing it for patriot reasons, they're earning a paycheck to survive. Mm-hmm. And so I'm concerned, but I will say this. I would be more than happy to see all these countries having civil unrest get so rampant that the U.S. military bases are forced to get the hell out of there. Now, realistically, that's not going to happen. That's just a nice idea because for me personally, I say bring all of our troops home. Close every foreign military base. We are spending $30 million an hour on the war in Iraq, which is still happening, and the war in Afghanistan spilling over to Pakistan. $30 million an hour, everybody. Bring home all the troops. You want to keep a safe country? You know, this is so ridiculous. We are stretched so thin by having so many troops in over 130 countries around the world. And so then what do? They say, well, Homeland Security, Department of Homeland Security is going to save you. We don't need fucking Homeland Security. Bring all the troops home. Close all the hundreds of bases and outposts in all of these countries. Bring them home, and we will have the most secure country on the freaking planet.
Oh yeah, and I think it's interesting because knowing what you know about the other tech that's just available, it kind of like negates the necessity for some of these bases alone. And then you think about like all the and how you're saying about the Department of Homeland Security bullshit, because it is bullshit. Because so we have a fucking National Guard for. Oh yeah, I forgot. You guys sent them to fucking Iraq. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's obviously all planned because as we know, Aaron, we've discussed this before. How obviously this was a plan, a plot to lure America into Afghanistan to basically fucking bleed us dry like the USSR went. You know what I mean? Because no one's won there except Genghis Khan ever. So. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's
here's
so much.
Another thing. Let me just quote Gerald Celente. Like him, love him, or leave him, doesn't matter. I, for one, have much respect for Gerald Celente. Yes, he appears on MSNBC. Yes, he appears on Fox. But if you watch any of the videos where he's on Fox or MSNBC, he cuts down those people like they are redhead stepchilds. I mean, he cuts them down. No offense to anyone that's redhead in the chat room or listening.
Yeah, redheads rock.
Celente is fearless and he stands his ground. And there's a few things that he talks about in relation to this that is just so perfect. I mean, just so absolutely perfect. And that is, he talks about the 20%ers as he refers it to. The 20%ers, it only takes 20% to basically invoke a revolution, however that revolution may be, but he does it. And the other thing that, I just lost my train of thought, Jerry. Yeah, but there was something else, Meredith, that I was going to bring. You know what? I'll bring it up later if I remember it. But so go ahead, Jerry, because I completely lost my train of thought. I'm amped up right now.
Yeah, no, I know how that goes, man. Because it's like there's so much going on. It's like you can go one direction with any given piece of information in this realm. It's like, where do you want to fucking go? So because it all, and that's the interesting, as we know, it all leads to and that's the thing. I think we should really start stating it. It's not really the government. It's the secret government. It's the government that doesn't change seats. It's the one that doesn't have borders. That's the one that's really pushing all the buttons right now. And they're the ones that are putting the squeeze on people. They're the ones that, because you have to ask, because we have this debt, right? It's like, who the fuck do we owe that to? You know, I think people should start asking that. Who the fuck do we owe that debt to? Who exactly do we owe these trillions of dollars to? You know, and then they'll get a good answer. They'll find that.
Oh, yeah, that's what he said. A lot of people believe the global deficit, this is something he talked about, the global deficit right now is so top-heavy, it's impossible to fix. $700 trillion. And when I say dollars, let's just use that as more of a symbol, because the U.S. dollar right now is falling rapidly. Anybody out there that goes to the gas station, goes to the grocery store, pays your bills, you see that now. It's happening. And it is just absolutely, it's alarming. And this is why I've been doing this series of these survival reports where I've been taking the steps on the true survival, because yes, I talk about a lot of scary stuff, but I want people to know that there are solutions. I'm trying to bring solutions. Unlike some people I could mention, Alex Jones, I try to provide solutions. I don't like fear-mongering. I don't want people to be scared. In fact, if you are getting a little worried, then that is good, because that means you see what's going on. Now take that feeling of fear and transform it into securing yourself, your loved ones, your family, whomever, by taking the steps. And I'm not saying I'm the end-all of answers, because I'm certainly not. That's why I have so many banners of websites on the true survival. But I feel personally that I have put out some pretty damn good step-by-step articles on, such things as water storage, food storage, home gardens. And I had a lot of people come to me and saying, well, I live in a one-bedroom apartment. There's no way for me to have a garden. Shut up. Yes, there are. Look at the true survival. I haven't.
Yeah.
Okay, there are ways. All right.
Oh,
Quit
yeah. They even sell kits for that
shit.
shit.
Get to work. Quit sniveling and get to work. I want people to get to work. This cannot be done unless you make some sacrifices. Look, the economy's tough right now. We're all struggling. I understand that. But you need to make some sacrifices. Look, if you enjoy going out that, Friday or Saturday night and going having some drinks, you are entitled to that as an American citizen, as a citizen of this planet, to go out and maybe get schnockered once in a while, play some pool, laugh it up. That's great. But maybe you sacrifice that Friday night and you take that $50 or $60 you're going to spend at the bar and you use it to buy some, heirloom seeds. Maybe you buy a better first aid kit. Maybe you get some warmer clothes. Think about it. You can do it. You can do it. Anybody can grow their own food. It's as simple as I said on the website. Box, dirt, water, seeds, and sun. It's that easy. Of course, there's some steps in between that I haven't said, but it's that easy. Get some burlap bags, get some plastic bags, get some paper bags. You can make this called a bag garden. Okay, these things are possible. Go to your community gardens. Go to your local farmers markets. If you live in a high-rise apartment complex, talk to the people within the apartment. Maybe some of them. Get an agreement with the landlord. Make a rooftop garden. It's possible, people. Quit making excuses. I'm just saying this in general. I'm not aiming this towards the people listening or in the chat room right now, but I'm saying this in general. Get your shit together now. I'm tired of people coming to me saying, I can't do this, Aaron. Oh, this is too hard for me, Aaron. Me. Shut up. Quit whining. Tighten your belt buckle and get out there and get to work.
Yeah, seriously. It's actually fun. It's fun to grow shit.
Jerry, I have a great time. Meredith and I have been having a wonderful time. We got our little seedlings now. They've sprouted. We're watching our little vegetables grow. We're starting to get them acclimated, and soon we're going to be planting them, and then we're going to start some more. I just started some avocado stuff. You know what I did? I didn't know shit about how to get an avocado seed started. I spent 2 minutes on the internet watching one little instructional video, reading a paragraph article, and bam, they're in the bedroom on the windowsill right now, getting ready to go.
Yep. It's amazing because I often hear this too in terms of I don't know where to start. It's like I said, you have the internet. You just got to say it took you 2 minutes. So how to grow avocado from seed. It's dude, you just ask your question. Just ask your fucking question. God damn it. It's how about that?
It's just like what you said earlier when you were talking about this whole thing with the birds, which I really don't want to get in that because let me just put on record, as far as that person is concerned and me, unless that person says any lies that are directly towards me, I will comment on that. If that person says anything in any kind of massive source that I feel could be a serious detriment, I will reply to that. But as far as this whole rift between me, her, and her little henchman, I'm putting that past me because I'm going to be the better person about that.
Yeah.
Because I hate that term, lead by example. I'm going to stand beside you and simply be the person that I feel I should be.
Mm-hmm.
So that we can all, because the being positive and progressive and proactive is much more contagious than this disinformation crap that's going on right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think, and obviously there's more to what's going on than just any one person's image, any one person's theory about what they think is going on, because no one can have all the answers. No one knows exactly what's going on everywhere. It doesn't work that way. And so yeah, it's very important. That's why honestly I'm addressing it, because to me, I'm not interested in drama either, but like I said, when you have people listening to this, and then you're having them report on it as if it's some kind of fact and all this other stuff, it's not cool, because all that does, it just leads people down the wrong path. And then it makes everyone's work harder to try to create a collective solution, because you have this total wrong train of thought that's off in fucking La La Land. And meanwhile, you have some practical shit to deal with, and you can't worry about the Angel of Death and Metatron coming to smash you with their cube of knowledge. So
isn't that a transformer?
I think it's Megatron. It probably that's
Megatron. That's Megatron. Yeah, I thought it was Metatron. Like Metatron and these feathery wings pop out, and its gun is a lightning rod or something. I don't know.
I think you just designed one right there. We'll have to whip that up for you. So. Pretty cool.
Meredith just reminded me that I wasn't looking at the chat room, but I guess Chris Honeyfield was saying something about the avocado seeds. Chris, send me an email if you've got some insight on how assisting me with growing the avocado seeds. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you. That's my brother in arms down in the land of the Kiwis. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, Kiwis rock. So. And so do avocados. So it's very important to get that settled, and because it's really like that. I guess what people don't realize too. It's like they think that, like, some people almost laugh at that thought, right? But it's like what you're talking about earlier about going to the supermarket. It's like, well, you just saved yourself money if you're growing onions or something like that.
I haven't calculated yet, because obviously our seedlings are done, but I'm willing to bet that Meredith and I are going to, if the dollar is still worth a shit by the time we're ready to harvest our first fruits and vegetables, but I'm guessing we're going to be saving a buttload of money.
Yep.
And and we'll be, we eat organic anyways, but for any of you who have ever tasted a tomato, an organic tomato fresh off the vine, I'm telling you, it's enough to make your toes curl, and in a good way.
Yeah, it's true, because all the stuff that you grow tastes better anyways. It's just it just tastes better, and actually you can at least grow a lot of them larger too. So that's a whole other thing. So, and actually, I might even just do a show on like home gardening or something one day, how to grow different vegetables and stuff like that.
Well, hang on a second, Meredith is relaying something to me. What's up, baby?
Oh, yeah. Jerry, that we planted the rosemary and the mint.
Oh yeah. Jerry, we planted the rosemary and the mint that you gave us. So thank you very much.
Oh yeah, you're welcome.
Watching. I've kind of gotten. I have found that doing the gardening and the landscaping around the house is very fun and very therapeutic. And I never, if you had asked me so much as a year ago if I'd ever be doing that kind of thing, I would have laughed and said, "What are you, fucking crazy?" But I'm telling you, I love it.
Oh yeah, I'm right there with you, dude. I never thought I was gonna be loving the growing stuff too, but I just can't get enough of it. I'm like, ooh, what plants can I buy now? Because it's just fun, and then it's like, and then you get to have your own fruit. You know what I mean? Your own oranges or your own jalapenos and all this other stuff. So and then like the whole therapeutic effect. I mean, because that's one thing. Like, you know how I like to ground things, and here we are. You're literally grounding. You're literally releasing the charge that's built up by wearing like those rubber shoes and stuff like that when you touch the ground. And so it literally is good for your system to kind of let loose all that static energy that's built up.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like, taking care of these little seedlings is like, I think it's quite an experience because you got to watch them grow and say that you did that. And there's nothing more rewarding than sustainability. Thank you, Meredith. There's nothing better than sustainability. It's so rewarding. It feels so good.
We've been having a great time.
And we have a great time doing it. I mean, I got out there and I'm all covered in dirt and all, sweaty and
and we started canning for the first
stuff.
time.
And we started canning and dehydrating as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we're having a blast doing it. You know, we're Meredith has been making like cakes and breads and stuff from scratch, and they're awesome. Definitely, you and Jill will have to taste some of her, as I say, the tasty goodness when you guys come visit.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. Because I mean, and like how we're saying, it's all better for our bodies, anyways. So you know, it's and whatever the reason, it's kind of like we should be doing this anyways. We should be growing our own stuff. We should be, you know, actually the dehydrator is a great, you know, appliance. I think it should be more of a staple in people's house.
Absolutely. And let me just answer something real quick, Jerry. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Sacramento Joker asked, anyone got a good hookup with mango chutney? I don't remember the website, but Meredith has got this website that she looks at where she gets basically like organic from scratch recipes.
I'll find it and you can put it on Truth Survival tonight.
She's going to find it for me. I'll put the banner to that website on Truth Survival tonight in the banner recommended website section.
Awesome. That's very cool. And I'm really looking forward to how your website's going to grow, honestly, because it's, you know, there's just so much practical information there that I think is really a necessity right now for across all the different subjects. You know.
Thanks. Yeah, I never. I'm getting some really amazing compliments from people about the things I'm writing, and I don't consider myself a writer or even a journalist. You know, obviously I do my research. That's important. But when it comes down to sitting down and writing them, it just seems to, without sounding, well, it is. It's like the information is just getting downloaded. I don't want to say downloaded. It's being uploaded from in me some way. And I'll write, and then like 10, 20 minutes later, I'm sitting there going, holy shit. And then, of course, I always ask my proofreader, my lovely wife Meredith, to come over and check it over, make sure it all looks good, and then we publish it. So, again, I want to say that the True Survival has definitely been a team effort. And I emphasize on that because without working as a team, you're not working at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, again, Alex Jones says, well, I did this, and I did that, and I did this. Oh, no, you didn't.
Yeah, this is definitely everything that we're experiencing right now is an cumulative effort upon everything that came before it. So yeah, it's obviously narcissistic to assume otherwise. So yeah, absolutely. And
absolutely.
and I think it's I say it really is important, despite you know, any economic implications or any, you know, dark cabals, you know, plans to do some of these things because of the simple fact we're talking about. It's the independence that we shouldn't have to rely on other things. You know, we have to we need to be self-sustainable, and if anything, just so that we can even offer more as a community, because it's not there's no vampirism, so to speak, and there's a symbiotic relationship, knowing that there's like no necessary dependency. So any transaction, say even from bartering, turns into something that's exponentially more valuable. You know, when we all have some sense of independence. You know.
Absolutely, and let's talk about bartering for one quick second. The last time I think I talked about gold and silver, and you know, I still stand my ground with that, because gold and silver is nothing more than metal. And metal can be used for many, many useful things. So when I had said last time that, you know, I encouraged everyone to at least, if you've got like gold, silver, gold jewelry, try not to hawk it. I know that times are tough, but if you can keep it, because that can be used as a good way to barter. But there are other things too. Excuse me, such as heirloom seeds will be a very good bartering method. Hemp seeds. Hemp seeds are still, what was it? No, not now, but there was a time, this was from something that Meredith and I were watching last night. I don't know the years, but there was a time when hemp was used in 90% of products such as food, clothing, and other things around the world. 90%. I'm going to be getting some hemp seeds. And, you know, there's this misconception that hemp seeds and marijuana are both one and the same things. It's not.
Yeah, it's not.
And other things that I suggest are homeopathic medicines. Keep enough for yourself, but if you got a little extra and times are tough, when this economic collapse happens. I don't like having to say that, but I will. Basically, anything that you feel would be of value to another. Meredith has got one more thing to add. Hang on. Yes, Dave.
Whenever we go to the doctor, we give examples of medication, and if we don't take it, we still keep it in case.
Very good point, honey. Very good point. When Meredith or I, go, well, I don't really go to the doctor because I'm stubborn. I don't trust doctors, and I had my arm twisted to go to the dentist. I'm getting the look. But anyway, if you have to go to a doctor or a dentist and they give you like a free trial of medication, or if they give you a little extra medication for whatever that may be, a prescription of whatever, and you don't want to use it, still hang on to it. I'm telling you, just hang on to it, because you never know what good that could be used later on. There are many. You know what's so great about this? This is going to sound really weird, but you know what's so great about an economic collapse? Options.
What's that?
Right now, we don't have options. Our option is the dollar bill, apple pie, fucking football, and the American flag. And by the way, the American flag that's been waved is a maritime court flag that's used in times of war, not the real flag. So anytime you go to a court and you see that American flag behind the judge, they're putting you into admiralty court. It's an illegal judicial proceeding. That's just a little thing I learned from Jordan Maxwell. Without getting off the track, the dollar bill is nothing more than a symbol of control by the elite. It's a symbol. It's not even paper, okay? So just think of it this way. Let's flip things. The economic collapse is a gateway to so many wonderful and positive options. All you have to do is open your eyes and you will see it. I promise you, you will see it.
Yeah, it's true, and that's like one of the reasons. Like, I kind of tend to call so a lot of people call it collapse. I kind of call it economic recalibration, because it's kind of like the collapse would kind of imply that we're going to adhere to the similar system, and the recalibration is really kind of us understanding what is really worth anything and what worth really is. And that's kind of like how you're saying about gold and silver, which is true. That's one of the things I even said on my show. It's like, it's not necessarily gold and silver is a bad investment. It's that some people are totally getting fucked because they're like how you're saying, they're hawking it. And it's like and no, it's not a good idea. And likewise, as I said too, even if you have a large amount of money that won't be insured, or you don't really care because you don't want to put X amount of worth in a bank, having a gold brick is a good way to have that, and the same because you'll be able to know it. You can take a large that's if you're going to have a large sum sitting there, and if it'd be either there or a bank. So that's a whole other thing. But yeah, and like how you're saying, there's other ways to borrow too. I mean, because I borrow a lot of services even now. That's I do that quite often, because I find that because a lot of times I find that there's things I would pay for anyways. So I'll just find someone who needs that, and I'll be like, hey, I can do this. Just do that. Just hook it up with this. And so I do that quite often because I don't want to be taxed for one, and two, it's like it just works out better because for both people, because usually it's easier when you have something either in your inventory and then you have someone who's like, you don't have to give me like any kind of exchange other than something that's already just kind of sitting there, or maybe another service. You know what I mean? Then there's really no intent to exchange, and so it's like you have a good relationship there.
Dr. John Waterman and I, on one of our many chats, were discussing about there's a lot of places around the country that are already starting their own currency because it's not illegal to start your own currency. There's a lot of cities, counties, and geographic areas and states around the country who are starting bartering systems. There's a guy, I think he was in Texas, who runs a butcher shop that barters for his product. Even Meredith and I think I mentioned this last time, we found out in where we live, there's a lot of little towns all spread out. And the town that's just north of us, we were at a store talking to a gentleman who's very much awake and very much aware of everything going on. It's so nice talking to people like that.
The gold store?
And yes, it was that store, babe. And the guy was telling us that right there in that town, that local area, I think he said a couple places, honey, were doing bartering for services, right?
He does gold and silver bartering with his Parklet water now.
That's right. The gentleman, we were at a store looking into gold and silver, and the gentleman that's bartering with gold and silver with his the guy that delivers their water.
Oh wow!
And so these things can be done.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy is not doing bad for business. He's bartering and he's still doing well. So you can barter and survive very fat and happy. Well, don't get fat, but be happy.
yeah, that's true. And yeah, it's true that I think that because people I think have obviously been brainwashed to believe that only those greedy little slips of synthetic cloth are what's worth, and it's really not. It's what is someone doing with that resource, and that's where, like how I say this when I barter, it's like I'm looking at what thing, what service or product am I looking for, and do I really need to use that as the marker of the worth? You know what I mean?
Right.
And so and especially if you have if you're in a trade of some kind, especially, I mean, you can really kind of do good for yourself, because then you have resources that are coming to you that aren't really are way lower on what's required to kind of have them come to you, and then that allows you to produce more of whatever you're doing without having to worry, or you'll have the resources available to put the money down somewhere because you didn't take from that imaginary number.
Right.
You actually have something either physical or you did a service.
And this is why Meredith and I encourage people to do this. Network. Get out to your community. Go to the farmers' gardens. I bet you if you go to, the farmer markets. I bet if you go to the farmer market, you talk to the local growers that are growing the organic food and vegetables, they are at least aware of Monsanto and GMO. Talk to people. Get people together. Find out who is a nurse practitioner. Find out who knows more. Find out people that have a certain trade that is helpful in a situation where your dollar means nothing and the gas pumps are dry, so that you can, because strength truly is in numbers. With some exceptions, of course, it's much easier to survive when you're working with people whom are on the same mindset and are on the right track as you are. Mm-hmm. It does help. I encourage everybody, take one day this next week or this next month. Take one day to bring some people together at a coffee shop, at your house, wherever. Sit down and talk about these things. Maybe come up with an action plan, or as we say in the military, an SOP, standard operating procedure. Get together. Come up with an action plan. If one person's got a good cachet of medical supplies, but someone's got a good garden, coordinate with each other on what you're going to do, okay? But also calculate to make sure that you yourself are secured. This is very essential. And you know what? Let's take the economic collapse, civil unrest, and the police say this. Let's wash all that way aside. There are some things that I'm working on behind the scenes. Dr. John Waterman and I have been talking about it, and others. Natural disasters do occur. Of course, there are some, I don't want to talk about them right now, but there are some things that I'm working on to find more information out that may have been triggered by man-made disasters but it will be a natural disaster that was triggered by man-made. So what I'm saying is natural disasters occur, so you should always be ready for anything. As I always say, natural or man-made disasters do happen, and everyone needs to always know that and take the best steps you can to ensure that you are safe, secure, and have the proper supplies so that you can survive.
Yep, absolutely. And we're almost at the end of our show here, Aaron. So that's definitely some good message to end it on. So is there anything else you want to add? Like maybe do you have any upcoming interviews, or obviously talk about give everyone your web address again too?
Okay, let me just be real quick about this because don't want to take too much time. I do have a free newsletter subscription. You can find it at the bottom of the homepage. It's truthsurvival.com. I've got a lot of really great information on there. I also have a thing up there that's called Upcoming. It's a tab called Upcoming Interviews/Appearances, where I have every radio show, every speaking appearance that's up. And the archive section is every interview I've ever done. Coming up actually tomorrow, starting at around 4:30. They're going to be talking first before I come on. So basically, 4:00 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. in Montreal, Quebec. I'm going to be on a French-Canadian radio show. Yes, it'll be English. It's actually broadcast on FM up there as well. And I have, it's tomorrow, and I've got the link up to the site. It's up there. And then I wanted to plug this, if I may, Jerry, real quick, something.
Please. Yeah, go for it.
I just had a wonderful chat with the organizers of the Free Your Mind Conference. Things have been going very well now with their fundraisers. They have another one coming up. I will be posting that soon. If you live in the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area, please go show your support. On April 9th and April 10th, I will be with my wife, too. We'll be going together, and we'll be speaking at the Free Your Mind Conference. It's $20 per day in advance, $30 at the door. And let me tell you something, that's not a bad ticket when you have people like Alfred Weber, Andrew Bisagio, Far Yurdazo, Freeman Fly, Suzanne Taylor, Michael Kelly, Laura Eisenhower, Larkin Rose, and more speaking at this event.
Yeah.
And I will be there. I'll be speaking. I was very honored. Allow me to brag for a second. I don't really do this, but they've asked me to be the person to kind of give the opening introduction to the conference. So that really was quite an honor, especially with people that are speaking there that have been in the field much longer than me. But, most of them I know and they're friends of mine. And so it's an honor, definitely. But, show your support. They have a PayPal if you want to give a donation. All the proceeds go to the rental of the place and the cost of travel. So there you go. And that's what's coming up.
Awesome, Aaron. Well, thank you for hanging out with us here once again, and thank everyone in the chat room and in the archives too. And be sure to tune in to us on Tuesday for our regular scheduled show at 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we're going to have Donald Michael Craig on Tuesday, and then we'll have Egypt expert Dr. Bruce Goldberg on Thursday. So that should be interesting. Aaron, well, thanks again, and we're actually going to go ahead and play everyone out here with a song, and because I think it's nice we put an end to this whole Colleen fiasco and move on and get rid of that whole ball and chain, shall we say, and that's burdening us. So we actually are going to play a Social Distortion song for all those who are familiar with it, called Ball and Chain, because it's a good way to move on, shall I say. Wouldn't you agree, Aaron?
I would agree, and I want to thank everyone that listened, everyone in the chat room. Thank you very much for supporting Universal Truth Evolution Show. Keep supporting them. They work very hard, and thank you very much for supporting me. My wife and I thank you very, very much for all the kind emails and the support. Much love to you all. And with that, I will hang up, Jerry. Thank you.
All right, Aaron. Well, thanks again, and thank you again, everyone. And we're going to get going here and play some music, and we'll see you on Tuesday, hopefully. And thanks once again for hanging out with us, everyone. And thank you, everyone out there in archive land, too. So rock on, everyone. Keep bringing that truth.
Broken heart, an empty bottle of gin. Oh, I sit and I play, and I'm broken down Chevrolet. Oh, I'm singing to myself, there's got to be another way. Take away, take away, take away this ball and chain. Oh, I'm lonely and I'm tired, and I can't
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Universal Truth Evolution on blogtalkradio.com.